So it's counting down. I've got the go here. I'm waiting just a couple of seconds for everything to sync up. Almost there. Almost there. Now we're live. Welcome everyone to episode 11 of season 4 of the Level Up Your Wealth podcast. We talk about the gaming industry from a business perspective. One of your hosts, Marcus Howard, joined by Mario and Desiree. Mario, please introduce yourself, and then Desiree, we can't wait to speak with you.
Yeah. How's everybody doing? Mario Payne in not sunny, rainy Jacksonville, Florida, but happy to be here. It's a Thursday, one more day to the weekend, so very happy to be here.
All right. And then also joining us for today's episode is Desiree. Desiree, welcome to the show.
Hi everyone. Before I forget, because I'm so nervous right now, but thank you so much for having me, Marcus and Mario. I really appreciate it. So who I am an incoming high school senior. I'm working on my Associates of Science in Game Design. Hopefully I can finish both at the same time, but I'm also a teen entrepreneur and of course an animal lover.
Oh, gotta love the animals. What's your favorite? I mean, if you're an animal lover, you love all animals, but what's your favorite
Of
animal?
course.
Do you have a
Um,
favorite?
well, yeah. I really like cats. But I also love dogs as well because I have two fur babies.
You have a
I
cat and a dog?
both. No, I actually want a cat, but my parents won't let me get one. But I have two dogs already, so I think they said that's already enough. But yeah, I have two dogs. One is named Snurfy and one is named Scruffy, but together I call them Scruffy.
That's funny. Yeah, now we have one dog. We have our dog is named Brady. He's a rescue. Well, actually, all the dogs we've got except for one have been rescue dogs. So he's a rescue dog. Got him from Humane Society about 2 years ago. He's just a bundle of joy. He's a staff Sapphire. It's like the more friendlier version of a pit bull, but he is a lover, not a fighter. So yeah, our Brady.
So you
Yeah.
said that you're working on two separate associate's degrees right now, or are those at two different schools, or explain how that works.
No, so only one. I'm doing high school and college, community college at the same time.
Mhm.
I'm very lucky and I'm very grateful that I'm able to do both of them at the same time. Um, I'm working on. I also go to three, four different schools now. So yeah,
Spinning all the
Four
plates.
different schools.
yeah.
So what's your major? Like what's your major gonna be?
So it's gonna be game design for Associates of Science.
Game design. Wow. Never designed a game before. So walk us through the process of game designing. Like what made you want to design games in the first place? Like what was your go-to game that made you want to design games?
Well, I decided to pursue gaming as a career at the end of junior high, middle school, when I realized that it was an option. But I think I already had identified what problem I wanted to help solve as a toddler. I wanted, I started gaming since I was toddler, but my parents only let me play educational games. I played ABC Mouse, and then I got my first handheld console called the Leapfrog Explorer. I loved my games. I played like games like Olivia and Brave, Princess and the Frog, but I realized that my games were very different than my parents' games. My dad played like EA Sports stuff like baseball and football and WWE wrestling, and then my mom would play like Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter. I noticed that their games weren't answering questions or spelling games or math questions, so I wanted to play their games, but they didn't let me. But that's when they got me Sonic. Um, and then I just became hooked. My favorite part was that it was just fun. Um, I really liked how my characters could drive, pilot, and then like fly in like the same race, and it was like super exciting. Um, my learning games, not so much. So yeah, I wanted to solve that and learning, but in like a fun way. I think it still hasn't been mastered, but I want to be a part of that to making that happen.
So you'd say that the learning that you're doing on ABC Mouse is gamified, but that doesn't necessarily make it fun. Is that correct?
Right. So
That's
yeah, I want that change.
That's so interesting because my daughter's like the same way. Like, so our daughter, she plays ABC. It's crazy because like when she was a child, when she's only 10, when she's still a child, but like when she was like a toddler, like we had her play leapfrog, and like that was like it was cool, but it was leapfrog, and now like she plays ABC Mouse and ABC and to your point, like she plays it, but it's not fun. I mean, it's educational, but like I wish it was a way that it could be educational but fun. It's just like she's playing it to learn stuff, and she's learning stuff like on a computer to compare to like reading, which is cooler, to do stuff online, but it's not fun for her. So like so that's like your whole space. You're trying to find a way to make those educational games more fun.
Yes, definitely. I definitely want to make that change to making it like totally fun and not feel like homework. Because when I would finish my homework, I would go play my educational games, and I felt like, well, this is more homework. So
Yeah.
I just didn't like it at all. But yeah,
Desiree, this is a very old game, so you may not be aware of it. Have you heard of something called Mario Teaches Typing?
I have not.
Okay, so when you get a chance, and I don't want to give you any more homework, but when you get a chance, well, actually, I might be able to share my screen. Let's see if I can pull that up. Mario Teaches Typing is a teaching or a typing tutorial that you basically play the game of Mario in order to learn to type. Like in order to like jump on the monsters or hit the bricks, you have to like type letters. Mario Teaches.
Nice.
There's another one that's much less kid friendly. That's my personal favorite, called Typing of the Dead. It was basically like the franchise House of the Dead had a typing version. So like if you wanted to like shoot monsters, you would type words. I don't have photos here.
That's nice.
Oh,
Yeah.
not familiar with that.
My parents are very strict on what me and my brother can play. So I don't get to play a lot of the cool games that I see other people play. I like to play racing games like Rocket League, and also simulators like farming simulators or other tycoons and hobbies. I spend a lot of my time in like Fortnite and Roblox as well. I like to play with friends, and my little brother likes to join me as well. Um, Also, another thing that I've noticed when my brother plays Roblox, he also onto the same thing. I noticed that he learned how to type really well on Roblox faster than he learned how to type than in a typing game. So I think that's really a nice way to learn typing.
Ah, so that gives me an idea because my daughter, she plays Roblox, but she plays it on the phone though. So you can actually play it like on the computer type.
Yes, it's available on
Ah,
tablet, PC, and mobile.
And do
okay.
you think that he learned to type better because he just wanted to communicate, or is it
Yes.
okay?
So
So it's not the
Roblox.
gameplay, but it's the social piece of it.
Yes. So when he gets to chat with his friends, he gets to like just chat away in the chat box. So that really helped him learn how to type.
That's interesting. So like game design. So what programs do you use to design games?
So in game design, we use like a lot of like Unity, um, which I'm trying to learn how to use. Right now, for my Girls Make Games camp, we are using Construct 3, stuff
Mm.
like that. I want to learn more like and other like engines like Unreal and Godot and stuff like that. Um, but I've also like tried to like use Lua as well, and I'm learning a little bit of that too, which is really exciting because that is used in Roblox.
Mm.
Do you? I don't know if you were able to share some of your game from the camp this week. Do you have a like a version of that running, or is that's not on this machine, or is it an on-site camp? Is it a remote camp or on-site camp? And if it's
Um,
remote, do you have some of your game with you?
yes, it's a virtual camp.
Mhm.
I'm doing a virtual camp. Um, let me. Can I?
If you share
Um,
your screen, I can bring it over to the broadcast so people can see it. I've seen it because you've
okay.
shared some updates on LinkedIn.
Yes, I have.
And you've been in that
Okay.
camp now for just how many weeks? Like 1 week, 2 weeks? How long has that camp been running?
It's only three. Today I had just finished day 4.
Hmm.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the age group. So like, what's the youngest individuals in the camp, and what's the oldest individuals in the camp?
Um, I think it's something to 18, I believe, but um, I think it's I think there's no restriction. Maybe like to elementary to high school.
Oh wow, wow. Because like I said, like my daughter's 10, and like I would, because I mean she plays games more than I would like her to play, right? I say that as a parent, but it would be cool for her like to learn like how to like to design the games, and like
Mm-hmm.
me going on YouTube and showing her is one thing, but I think being around like individuals her age or maybe even older individuals, because of course you look for older individuals, I think like that would probably make her want to create games, right? Because like we all game and we all like a creative because we're playing games, have our imagination. But if you can use that in creating a game and have that outlet, I think that's cool. So
Yes,
yeah.
definitely. She can definitely join. I'm in the summer camp. Um, Luckily, I had got a scholarship that I found out from LinkedIn, so um, that was really helpful. Um, but I think I could screen share.
I'm on mute. I had your post pull up here if you want me to share that. Unless you have it running, then you can share your screen as well, whichever is easier for you.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
If you go down to the bottom here on our console, and then just select the tab, and it should give me the ability to bring that over here.
For some reason, it says redirecting my thing. I know it's not.
So I'll just share the post that you did from LinkedIn from I think that was yesterday.
Okay, thank you so much.
So this
Okay.
what you're sharing in this post represents how many days worth of camp?
So these is 3.
3 days. Okay.
Mhm.
And in this camp, does everybody kind of work on the same genre, like a platformer, or can everyone choose their own genres? How does that work?
Um, you can pick only like your own. Right now, this is just our practice game, and we're just learning how to like put together a platform before our like our team game.
Oh, so this is like the basics. So So what all was created? So did you create the sky? So like what was kind of prepackaged, and what did you actually like design and create?
Yes, so actually, Girls Make Games gave us an asset pack, which came with like the background and like the floor, the tree, the character, the coins, and the flag.
Okay. And so everything else you had to design. So you had to design like how it jumps, and
Hmm.
what else did you design besides that?
Yes, so mainly we just focused on programming, which is a big
Oh,
part in game development. So yeah, we learned how to like program the character, and I did like the start screen and like the enemies moving and stuff like that, and collect the coins. Um, but yeah, in the map we made how we wanted to. It came with different assets. I just picked the this theme.
oh, that's cool. That's very cool, actually.
And how
So
long is
so
this
what?
camp going to run? Sorry, go ahead, Mario.
No, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, how long is this camp going to run? Is it for just 1 week? Is it 3 weeks? Is it the rest of the
Um,
summer?
yes, it's for 15 days, which is 3 weeks.
Mhm.
Right now I'm just on day 4.
Okay.
Day 4. Wow. So when this is over with, this might be like a full fledged game with maybe even levels. Then.
Yes, so this is just my practice game, but we're gonna be working on our team game for
That's
our like
cool.
final project, and then I think we get to like we to do get to do like a game pitch, and then we could get to do like a demo day for our game.
That's cool. When I was 17, I was flipping burgers at McDonald's. I was not creating games. That's This is cool.
Yeah,
This
when I
is
was
very
17,
cool.
I was working at a movie theater. I was not making games. Actually, I tried to make a game in the ninth grade on the TI A3 Plus graphing calculator. It was a Zelda clone, but my trigonometry teacher didn't recognize that I was teaching myself to code. What she did recognize, I was spending all the time playing video games on the calculator. So while it was at
Ooh.
lunch, she deleted the game off my calculator. And once you delete the memory on calculators, it's like gone forever. So I
It's gone.
permanently
Yeah.
lost my game.
Wow.
So look
That's
how
cool.
far we, the space has come, society has come in just a few
Yeah.
short years.
Yeah. That's very true. So what was the thought behind the villains? So the villains are the ones in the purple, right?
Yes,
So
I
like
think it's
so.
the purple. I forgot. It's a
Let's see.
an eggplant. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Uh,
So when you work on your next project with the group, so I guess that's more like a game jam, but the game jam will be about 2 weeks for you. Is that right?
Yes.
And then so someone will volunteer to do the art, someone else will do the sound, I assume, or we still get another set of asset packs to work from.
No, I think we can get a few, but we are working on like the levels.
Mhm.
Oh yes, and
cool.
also added this sound that as well.
That's cool. And then at the end, will you get a chance to publish to like itch.io or Game Jolt or like, what's kind of
Yes,
the end date for you?
I believe we do get to publish, and I think we also get a chance to win as well when we do our game. Um, yeah, it's a competition sort of. So
That's cool. Did you ever play the game Code Spark? So I know it's like a game called like Code Spark where like you like basically create code and kind of design the game. Is that kind of where you got your kind of like is this kind of like Code Spark? I imagine that as you continue to use the assets to build more levels.
I do not know that game,
Oh, okay.
but um,
I do. I'm familiar with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is like that. There are some pre-made levels that are all kind of programming challenges. So like
Mhm.
There are 4 benches, and you need to write basically a for loop that has 4 iterations to jump over each of the benches. So each of
Yeah,
those,
yeah.
and then there are like there's like a sandbox environment, very similar to what you've done, where you can put assets together. They give you assets like a catalog, a library, asset pack. You can kind of drag and drop and build your own levels. My kids love that game. I do too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So now, so like, so talking about my daughter, like she has it downloaded, and after like about 3 days, she just got frustrated because like she wasn't she was getting a level to level, but like she wouldn't get to levels quicker. And then like once she failed it, it pushed her back to like the previous level. She's like, why can't I start why I gotta start all the way from the beginning? I try to explain, well, it wants you to kind of get to the process of coding because because if you like make one misstep with a code, you got to start all over again. And she just couldn't. Either she either couldn't get it or she didn't want to get it. But yeah, that's why I asked.
Yeah, it can definitely be frustrating, but I really like that you get to like put your ideas, um, but making it is hard, and
Yeah.
sometimes your ideas not might not be like your final ideas. So.
Desiree, have you used Code Combat at all?
Nope.
Okay. So that's a web-based platform where it plays like a 2D side-scrolling World of Warcraft, if you will. So each level is a dungeon, very similar to kind of the setup for CodeSpark, but they give you a goal. I guess I could share my screen and show you very quickly. They give you a goal. Let's see, codecombat.com. I think. Play Code Combat. I'm just gonna jump in here real quick. So there's like different levels, and you click on here and you play it. Then you select your character. Each of them has like different attributes. Right?
Yeah, we can't see your screen.
You can see my screen. I'm just talking to myself and playing Code Combat. All right. So different characters. Each has like difficulty. I guess it's like difficulty of the code that you play in the game. Different types, weapons, etc. And then you get to pick your code format, which stays the same, but you can pick your language. So there's Python, which I've used my entire career. JavaScript I've used a lot as well. Lua I have not used, but I think Desiree, you mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you click next. Just add the equips, equip, play, jump through this very quickly. And so here is the challenge.
This is the hero that you control with
the
code.
first time, but basically
Your
like kind
goal
of
is
walking
the
you through
point
like
3.
what
This
your
way
goal
you get
is.
to you can use these methods.
And
Currently, you
this is
need
the
only
code
one
you have
method
that you can
move to.
use.
Type your code on the right.
So you type the
You'll
code
need to
here on the
change
right
the
side, this last
predefined
quarter of the
code.
screen, this other 3/4 of the screen is the game. And then
Let's
as
press
you
the
type
run
it,
button to see what
it goes
happens.
line by line through the code.
Chashin.
So you can see like how what you're doing has an impact, like how the impact your input has on the output.
Oh, that's
So I'm
cool.
gonna go so in order for me to beat this stage, I need to go to point 3. So I'm gonna go hero.move to 3. Hit run again, start from number 1, and I go immediately to 3. I could have typed move to 2 and move
Chashin.
to 3, but the goal was
You
to
did it.
add code
Click
and
the done
move
button
point
to
3.
finish the level.
So I really actually could have just skipped one altogether and just typed. That's what I should have done. That would have been less lines.
Chashin.
Free jail cool.
This is really cool. I might
It is
send
very cool.
this because we play like games like twice, like in one day. So this is like really cool that we can play together.
Yeah. So yeah, your brother might be interested. It's featured in my book. It's really cool. There's a lot of different things. Like it starts simple but builds. So Mario, that may even be good for your daughter.
Oh yeah. I mean, as long as it lets you advance without frustrating you, because like I said, Cold Spark, that just it was good for about 3 days, and then it's like, uh-oh, this is not working. It's not working. So that's right. What made you want to be an entrepreneur? I know, like definitely when I was 17 years old, I didn't wake up and say, hey, I want to own something. I own a business now, which is crazy. But like, what made you like want to be an entrepreneur?
Well, that's a really long story, but I was part of like the National Honor Society and National Technical Honor Society for my school. So we had to do like community service hours for that. But when I wanted to volunteer, I reached out to a bunch of like local rescues and shelters. I wanted to use my design skills to make content for them, but none of them would let me help them. So basically, I made my own because I wasn't going to wait for them for a yes from them. So I made SoCal Pets Rescue and Adoptions, and I started helping families and fur babies. I also helped low income families find resources for pet care so that way they wouldn't have to surrender their pets. After doing that for a while, I saw that it wasn't enough to help in any way. At the same time, I wanted a summer job again, but I kept getting rejected. Um, so I started planning for my small business when I was 15. Um, I sell customized merch for pet parents. I make stuff like bandanas, keychains, decals, shirts, bows, stuff like that. Um, Doing that allows me to make donations to rescues, shelters, and pay to neuter clinics. So this is something that I'm really proud of. I donate 4 times a year. My next donation will be on September 1st.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's awesome. So do you have a website?
Yes, you can go to decimated.com.
Yeah. Let's pull that up. That is
Yeah, let's do
awesome. That is awesome. So how do you go about making like the shirts and the bandanas? Like, do you design it and do you like send it to a company, or like how does that process work?
No, actually, I make them my own with the
Of course.
Simulation printer, and I make them with my heat press. A really cool thing that I learned is that I learned how to sew myself. It was really nice that I was able to do that. So yeah.
Wow. So okay, so you bought a heat press, and you make the design. Now, do you make the design? Are they handwritten, or do you make the design like on Canva or something online like Adobe, or how do you make the designs?
Yes, so I have the software. I usually make it like the decals and the logos and stuff like that from like Photoshop. And then I like transport it to like the silhouette. It's called the software, to make sure that it's printed. It's a long process and print it, so that way then I can either put the stuff like on the shirts and then like transfer it, and then that way transfer it and heat press it and on the shirts, and then that way it's get ready to get sent off.
Desiree, do you have an opportunity on your website for people to donate to you? Like you become kind of the proxy for like to support, maybe match your donations or otherwise like make donations through you since you're already doing some of this work?
No, so with the funds from my business, I go and just donate myself to the shelters.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought it might be a cool opportunity if if you're getting a lot of support for the work that you're doing, right? Rightfully so. Maybe you inspire some folks who want to donate directly. Maybe they're donating indirectly by supporting you through your business, but maybe some
Right.
folks want to go above and beyond and make direct donations. You might be able to help them with that. Or I don't want to overcomplicate your business because I'm not an accountant, so I don't know how that's supposed to be handled.
So
Yeah.
I have a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Desiree.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I just want to have my game studio so that way it can fund my animal sanctuary, and then that way I can like combine all the things that matter to me, like games, education, and of course animals.
Wow, that's very, very cool. So I saw here have a Google form. Like, so tell me like not technology. Like, so us that's older, of course. Like we use technology, but I don't think we use technology to the best of our ability. So like, let us know like how you're using technology and how it's helping you with your website and with your business.
Well, I think that virtually it really helps um, to like have a website, but I actually and usually sometimes I go to the shelters on campus, and sometimes I donate virtually.
Mhm.
But you know, I just learn online, and like I do everything like virtually and online for like all of my schools. So that's pretty easy and like accessible to me. So yeah.
And then I saw all your social medias. Like, how important do you think it is to connect people either with like your mission or if a person has a business or a person's trying to find a job like in gaming? Why do you think social media is important?
Well, I think it's really important. Um Obviously like virtually as well. So with how I'm learning and networking. I'm pretty shy, so I go really slow when it comes to connecting with people. But I want to make sure that I'm sending a note, and if I have questions, I will ask them, like, you know, why I'm contacting them. I think it's polite to read and learn more about a person before sending them a connection request. But that's just me. Um, I started using social media just to grow my audience, and for my business, I really actually want to grow my business so that way it can fund my game, and then that way my game can fund my animal sanctuary.
Mm. It's so interesting you said that because like I think like me and Marcus's generation is more maybe emails and phone calls and even like text message, but then like your generation is more social media. But I think from like a growing standpoint, the more that people use social media, like you can connect with so many more people using social media. You can connect
Mhm.
quicker. You can probably build relationships quicker than emails per se. So it's interesting our generation how we look at social media more for like conversational and getting gossip and like younger individuals look at social media more for like how to build a business. It's just very, very, very interesting how different generations view social media. You said the same thing, Marcus. You use
Yeah, I would say the
social media
same
the same
thing.
way, or
This the same, and I commend you on having kind of the foresight, right, to be leveraging social media to do that. I had to learn that when I was first starting in the gaming industry, because I've never been kind of venture capital funded. So I've always bootstrapped my businesses with the salaries from my 9 to 5. And so I would want to go to the PAX East and the E3s, and I didn't have either kind of the money to afford the flights, the hotels, the food, or the time from my job. I couldn't get 3 or 4 days to go across the country. So what I started doing was what you're talking about, Desiree, is like just leveraging like LinkedIn, for example, first Twitter, then LinkedIn, like I was digital networking at a conference. Yeah. But yeah, I think generally speaking, more folks, Mario, my age, use it more for like general, just time wasting, less for
Yeah. We're swiping, we're scrolling, we're looking at all the gossip pages. It's interesting because I was talking to one of my staff members today, and we were doing like a financial planning campaign. It was like, okay, like let's get a list of individuals and do like an email blast. And in my head, I'm like, that's cool, but I'm like, what if we use social media and like blast on social media? It's probably gonna be way more effective, and that's just, it kind of shows you like, But if I was like younger and I didn't know about like email blast, I would have even thought about an email blast. It would have been, let's just do it on social media. So to your point, like the way people conduct business now is totally different than like our generation. So it's just yeah.
Desiree, on your website, I see you have the button for the store, and I'm going to jump over here and share this tab instead so you can see that. So you've got your products you mentioned earlier. Can you explain like your thought process of having your store on a different site versus on your main site? Like in theory, I think you could probably integrate some of this stuff onto the main site. What was your thought process between having two separate sites?
Well, I was just being cheap, so
That's a perfect answer. That's okay.
But yeah, I just like already like in debt because my parents just like helped me like fund all of this. So yeah, I'm like major in debt. But yeah, I just use Shopify because it's cheap. So, and I was just budgeting. So.
Okay. Well, just something to consider, because I've seen some fairly elaborate Shopify sites where it's not just the product, it's other pages as well. So you might be able potentially, don't hold me to it, but you might be able to save some money if you migrated the stuff off of your main site here, like added pages on your Shopify site that reflect the other content from your main site. And now you're only paying for one service monthly instead of two.
Yeah, so for my actual website, I just use I think it's Google Sites, and it's a free website, but I only pay like $5. So for Shopify, that's only for my expenses.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh wow. I didn't know about Google Sites. It's only $5 to make a website. See, I be using GoDaddy when GoDaddy, buddy, be ripping me off, man. Okay, Google Sites, that's cool. So yeah, so it looks like you have your shirt here sold out. So like, how did it feel when you basically kind of sold out your shirts? It has to be pretty cool to have a product and then you actually sell it out.
Yeah. So well. It's kind of because I haven't updated it yet.
Growing pains, okay. Every business has it.
Every business has it, yeah. Every business has to growing pains.
You can still put it in your cart if you want.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you thinking about making a separate website for your game studio?
Yes.
And I know you just recently went to, I think, a handful of events this summer, I guess. How has the experience been doing some in-person networking, and how does that compare to your digital networking? Because from what I've been supporting your success for over the summer, last couple of weeks, it looks like you've met a few people in person that you connected with online.
Yes. So for some of the events I've been to, like GDC, IGN Live, WonderCon, GamesBee, Game Talk Unlocked, which I'm missing today because I couldn't finish my homework. But so going to Comic Con, PAX West, and maybe the Game Awards. But yeah, I really liked attending those events. They really helped me a lot. Um, but yeah, it uh, another thing about like the events, the in-person ones, is that like for GDC, I got to play a lot of games that I've learned about. It's like super different to like touching them and then like playing them myself, because like reading and like watching the videos doesn't give me like the full experience.
Yeah. Have you been to VidCon yet?
No, I have not yet.
Yeah. So my daughter, she's on me and my wife about doing VidCon. Like, she's 10. Like, what would a 10-year-old do at VidCon? But
Yeah, I think it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? It was just, I think, last
yeah,
month.
yeah. So we, for the second year, like, okay, let's do it next year. I don't know about next year, but yeah. What was your favorite conference and why?
I'd probably say GDC. Not mentioning that's my first event, but it was so much fun. I had a lot of fun. It was really a great experience. I even got to meet people from my network, so that was really fun. It Yeah, it was really special for me. I really like that it's like the whole week and not just like a few days. Like GamesBeat, and that way you get to really attend a lot more panels. So that really helps, that you just get to explore.
Yeah. Nah, I definitely like. I mean, from a work standpoint, like every conference that I can go to, I definitely, because like you learn so much stuff, like the networking. To your point, like you meet so many people. So definitely get a more now. Of course, the free conferences are better than the paid conferences, but definitely if you do go to conferences, it's always good to meet people, to network. And it's like you always learn something new. Like I can't say it's been one conference yet where like I left like, man, like it was a waste of my time. Like I've always learned something. And there's one thing learning something, there's another like to applying it too, right? Because you can learn something about a game or learn how to create a game, but if you actually don't apply it, then that's when the waste of time happens. So definitely as you go to conferences, I would definitely say, definitely whatever you learn, apply it, which will help you kind of hone your skills.
Desiree, as you think about trying to do that on a budget, something else you can consider is volunteering at some of those conferences, right? So especially if it's a week-long event, or even like the PAXs, right? There might be a 3-day event. If you volunteer like the Friday, sometimes they give volunteers like a 2-day pass or a 3-day pass if you put in a day or a day and a half. So you have to work some, but even in that working, you get to network with the other volunteers, and depending on where you're volunteering, you could actually still get to meet like a lot of corporate executives, because if you're supporting the stage or the green room or whatever, there's still networking opportunities there.
Yeah, so attending these events, I try to attend like as many panels as I can. But sometimes I can get brave enough to ask questions there, and sometimes I reach out after on LinkedIn to like ask questions I had during the panel. But I can go to like watch and then like listen and like try to identify like how I can contribute. Panels have been like a great way to like watch leaders and how they behave and like speak. I also like pay attention to like the problems they discuss and their suggestions for like fixing them. Being exposed to like all this information has helped me like plan for my future and my strategy. So that's why I attend like virtual and like in-person events.
So I know you mentioned before that your ultimate goal was to have like your own gaming studio. So like, what made you want to go that route? I know you want to, of course, design games, but like, why a gaming studio? And like, what does that look like? Will it be virtual? Will it be like a location? Tell me about that thought process.
Um, well, I haven't like really decided like whether it's gonna be like virtual or like in person, but like I thought like making like a game studio is because like again like the animal theme and like the educational games that I want to make sure that it's like actually like fun. I'm actually working on a new like genre idea that I have with my mentor, Chris Reamschussel. So hi, Chris, if you're watching. I want my game studio to so that way, like I mentioned earlier, that I want my game studio to fund my animal sanctuary and somehow combine those.
Desiree,
That's cool.
you obviously want to have your own studio and you like playing video games.
Mhm.
In your peer group, do you have, or even if like either in your peer group or in people that you know your age, right? Do you see a lot of people who want to get into game development? Because the stats show that like each younger generation has increasingly higher demand of consumption of games. But what you're talking about is being on the equity ownership, the producer side. Do you know more? Are there more Desirees that want to own their own game studio, or like do you find more people who work in the industry by attending these conferences?
So, I there are like parents that like won't let them, and like luckily, and I'm really grateful that I have the support from my friends and family. So I think supporting each other is really important. Um, Everyone in the community has been really nice, especially like to me like as a when I'm just like even just learning, but I don't see like too many people my age going for it.
So to that point, like like our me and Marcus's generation, like because of like the stigma of like gaming and it's a time waster. Like what would you tell those parents? So like if a person your age or younger went to their parents and said, hey, I want to start creating games or I want to design games, and they say no, it's a waste of time. Like what would you tell those, politely of course, but what would you tell those parents on why they should have their children do the things that you're doing when it comes to designing and developing games?
Um, well, when it comes to games, I think we should be like more happy and not like miserable. Um, because especially when we are encouraged to like do like stuff that we wanted to do is like a dream. And success is totally different for like everyone. So yeah, I think you should definitely like be free to like work on the stuff that you really love.
Oh, that's very true. Yes, success is different. If you ask 10 different people what success looks like, you're going to get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
It's definitely
Yes.
not all about money. Sure, sure.
Desiree, I think you also went through the Indie Game Academy. Is that correct? The level one?
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
Can you talk a little bit about that experience and how does it similar to or different from this camp you're in now?
From the Girls Make Games camp.
Hmm. So
Um,
the academy compared to the camp. I know you've been in the camp like 4 days now, but just in general.
well, for IGA, there was definitely a lot of older people than me, of course. Um, but I felt like there was a lot of like learning to it. We got to create an Unity for development. It was really great. We got lots of support from everyone, and it was like really nice. I really loved it. I definitely look forward to level two.
And so I looked into that whole structure, right? There's 3 levels, and I believe you add up the tuition for all 3 levels, you're looking at like roughly $7,500. And then I also looked at the national average tuition in 2024.
Mhm.
1 year of tuition is roughly $27,000.
Wow.
So a semester would be half of that, right? So roughly $13,000. So for you, someone who wants to have a career in game development, you could go through an entire academy, 3 tiers in 1 year for less than it would cost you to pay for 1 semester of 8 semesters at a university.
Wow.
Mhm.
There's already a projected 15% decrease in college age attending students starting in 2026 because in 2008 there was a housing market crisis and it created a 15% decrease in number of people in America born that year. Um, so I say all that to say, for context, as you get ready to become a senior and a graduate, what are your thoughts and probably some close form of having an associate's degree? Do you still think, what are your thoughts on pursuing a 4-year degree, paying $27,000 a year for 4 years versus going and spending $7,000 and jumping right into your career?
Well, yeah, I definitely do not want to get in debt. Um, but yeah, again, part of my research has been like finding programs and courses that would like teach me about game dev. But I've been like connecting with like other students and asking questions. I realized like 90% of them like tell me that they do not feel ready for their career when they graduate from college. And that is like very scary to me. So what I'm doing now is preparing, preparing for the preparation. So I want to make sure that I don't feel that way because that would give me a lot of anxiety. I'm a planner, so like I like must plan. Like even though like when things don't go according to plan, I want to know that I thought it through and I have a backup plan.
Yeah, that makes you think, just from a monetary standpoint, like that's a lot of money. I mean, basically $30,000 a year over that's $120,000. Then for a person going into college and like you really don't know what you're gonna do, you're just going to be going like it's kind of like throwing away money.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
but most of your friends who feel that way, are they still going to college, or are they just or taking like a year off, or doing something different?
So some of them are like um still going, but sometimes yeah, they do are not like not going anymore.
That's
When
interesting.
I went to college, I didn't really have a choice. It was either my parents said either you're going to go to college or you're going to go into the military. And then when I
And I
wasn't
did
doing so,
both.
we did both. And then my first year, I was not taking my schooling, my education seriously. So they said you're either going to take your education seriously, or you're going to be working at FedEx because you're not just going to be sitting up in our house breathing up all our AC. That's a quote.
That's funny. Yeah, I think that's generational stuff. Like it's like same thing. Like my parents couldn't afford for me to go, so I joined the military and then went to school while I was in the military. But yeah, it's like it was just college. Like, and I think like their generation was like more like high school, get a job, and then college is more accessible for our generation. But now since you have like more choices, I just see more and more people not going to college. Either they're just a full entrepreneur and they just spend all the time there, or they do a trade school, or they do coding classes or some type of certification that it's schooling, but it's not as costly. So yeah.
Yeah, I graduated in 2008, and I'm still paying student loans back. That was 15 years ago. I don't do the best job of managing my money there.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people like me who still are paying off student loans from a degree they got over 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I
Like I
went
said,
to college, but it has to be cheap.
Yeah. Cool.
So what are your goals for the rest of this year? I know you got the camp you want to finish up. You're really excited about that. Are you planning on launching your studio this year? What's on the horizon for the rest of 2024?
So right now I'm still like learning, so definitely not be this year. But I know that people say to like find a specialty first, but I want to explore more of my options. I know that I want to have my game studio, of course, but I want to find out like which part of game development I like the most. So I'm going to continue attending like events and of course taking courses and participating in group projects and meeting people in the industry so I can just bug them with questions.
And you also work for, what is it, Esports Law News, I think?
Yes.
Interning there?
Yes, esports legal news. So I am their social media manager. Leo has brought me on to raise awareness among like players. We have the esports legal wiki, which is like a free resource for all. But yeah, I've been learning a lot about like the legal aspects of esports and how it affects teams and players.
So every state is different. So please take this next recommendation with a grain of salt until you do your research. If you're going to be spending money on going to conferences and taking these educational courses, these camps, these academies, in my opinion, it would make sense, even if you don't have the full vision of your studio launch yet or ready, to go ahead and create a legal business entity at your earliest opportunity. Either, and I don't know if you can do that at 17, maybe your parents have to help you do that. But when you do that, when you start to incur these expenses, those become tax deductions against like whatever other income you're making, either through your other business or through the esports legal news. Mario can speak to that better than I can. I'm an accountant and I'm not certified to financially plan anything.
Yeah, very, very, very true. Definitely, if you have your own business, anything that you do monetary wise, when you spend money, you can write it off towards your income. So let's say you make $5,000, but you spend $6,000. Well, the $6,000 that you spent goes towards the $5,000 that you made, so you might not have to pay taxes, or you might get a refund. Now you can't do that every year in business because eventually you want to be profitable, and eventually you want to make 100,000 and spend 25,000. But be able when you first get started, definitely everything that you spend, you definitely want to keep your receipts. It's different programs called, like, I think Wave is one where it's free, where like everything that you do, you take a picture, it uploads it for you, so you can kind of keep all your receipts from a tax standpoint. But definitely yes, you definitely want to kind of anything that you spend, you definitely want to make sure you have receipts of that and write it down so that you can get some money back, or when you start making money, not pay as much from a business standpoint with taxes.
Yes, thank you. I'll keep that in mind. I live in California. Can I write off my school?
Yeah, yeah, that's a good question. That's more. I don't know. That is a very good question. I don't know the answer to that if you went off to school. I know your parents. If your parents are business owners and they put you on payroll, then definitely, and you use your payroll for school, and they get to write that off. So I know your parents can write off some of your schooling, but you writing off your school, I don't know. But I do know, like, educational courses, like if it's if it's for your business, if you do things educational wise, you're paying for, you're able to write that off. But I don't know if that's courses only or that's like a whole school. That would be great, but I don't know if Uncle Sam will allow a person to write off $120,000. But it's not loopholes though. But I know your parents can though. So if your parents are business owners, that's something that they can definitely do. They can have you as an employee, and then what they pay you, use that towards school, and they are able to write that off. So
Yeah, okay. They know more of the financial stuff, so.
yeah, yeah. We wouldn't expect you to do that at 17. I know nothing about writing off those taxes at 17. So yeah.
Desiree, thanks for your time. It's been awesome speaking with you, and congratulations on all the success you've had so far. You were much more disciplined and focused than I was at 17, for sure. And so we're really proud of the work that you've done, and want to continue to support you in your future. Before you go, can you let everybody know where they can support you? I know you mentioned your site earlier, but if you have, esports legal news or anything you want to just share on the podcast, people can support you and things you're connected to.
Yes. Can I share a message for other students?
Please.
Of course.
Okay, so students out there, don't get discouraged. Look for opportunities. When others won't give you opportunities, make them. Do not wait. Get creative. And if you see me post an event that I'll attend and you want to go, please let me know. We can totally meet and go through the awkward feelings together.
That's wonderful. That's a wonderful message.
That's dope. That's dope.
Mario, where can people find you and support you?
Yeah, so subscribe on Instagram at Painful Profits, because we make money. It could be painful, but we make profits. So at Painful Profits, or of course my estate planning platform, therelaxestate.com. So that's where you find me.
Excellent, excellent. I'm on LinkedIn, Marcus Esports Howard. If you all want to check out I Am Hacker, right, the real-time strategy game and the competitive piece, you can play by writing code in any programming language or by using ChatGPT prompts. Right, it's a lot of fun. The demo is available on Steam, so you can play it for free. I play it actively. It's a roguelike, so every time you play, it's a little bit different, but it's a ton of fun. Other than that, thank you so much for your support this week, and we will see you again next week for another episode of the Level Up Your Wealth podcast. Y'all have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you. You too.